Okay, DIY RAG, otherwise known as Retrieval Augmented Generation. You can think of it as knowledge base. Now, why am I doing this? And you already have knowledge base in there. One, it's for voice until we get it in there natively. You have something that you can give clients. Two, you can use this for larger data sets. And then also, if you have some sort of price listing and things like that, where you want more control over the database and what information is given back, this is for you as well. And then third, it's probably really cool to tell your client that you're going to completely build them a custom database and then do RAG and all that stuff. So it's a really, really interesting selling point to a client that you're able to do this. And I'm going to get away all for free. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. And I'm going to kind of explain what you're doing here because you're really going to build a complete knowledge-based system here. This usually takes people a really long time to figure out, and you really don't need much to do it. So we're going to walk completely through on how to do it. Let's switch over to the screen real quick. Okay, and so really the only thing that you need is an OpenAI account, a Supabase account, and a BuildShip account. And this is for specifically Assistable users, but if you're using some other AI platform, this works just as well. This is a totally recyclable resource that you can use to build your own RAG system. Even if you are building your own application, this may be a good start for you to get into RAG. So, and by the way, just for going forward, when you hear RAG, just think knowledge base. So once we have those things, we just need to set up a couple things in BuildShip. I already have these things set up for you here. I have a modal that you can use to upload the documents. All right, I have a BuildShip remix link up there. If you don't have a BuildShip account, I'll have a link in the description that you can use to sign up. It's really cheap and it's really good. And we're going to use these two things to kind of build this out. So as long as you have those three accounts, a Supabase account, make that one really quick. It's free. It's seriously free and it's super scalable. BuildShip, I don't remember how much, and then OpenAI, it's just pay per use, but we're going to use an embedding model. So it's, when I tell you it's extremely cheap, even in our scaled software SaaS price, I mean, we really don't pay much for RAG. So once you have those things, let's go ahead and import this remix link. You'll go here and import it, and you should get something similar to this. It's a folder that says knowledge base using Supabase, and you should get 2 workflows that go along with that. Once you get here, we just need to do a little bit of setup. And so before we go even further, I'm going to pop back over here so we can have a face-to-face. How RAG works, how knowledge base works, if you didn't know, what we're going to do is we're going to upload information. This one is only specifically for PDF, but you can literally take any file type, turn it into a PDF, and you're okay. Promise you can. And what we're going to do here is what RAG basically does is it takes that information and it stores it in a database. And we're going to create, we're going to embed that information using OpenAI. That creates these little numbers, right? Those numbers we'll use to re-reference later, which will give the most relevant answers when the actual chatbot uses this, so voice or chat, whatever. When it goes to look for information, it'll put in what it's looking for. We're going to re-embed that, and it's going to look at the database and say, what is the most likely answer to this question? It'll give us like 10 things back, but it's going to give it to us in the order of what's most relevant. So when you see a lot of answers come back, you can adjust that in this workflow, but it's basically giving the top like 5 to 10 things that are most relevant as an answer to what we're asking. That's how knowledge base works. I saved you a trip to Google too and pulled up this. And so basically the query in this example is just what like the contact is asking, or like in this example that we're going to be using custom tools for, what the custom tool is asking. It's going to be sent to our database to find relevant answers, relevant text, and then sent back to the AI to use that to generate its response. And the reason I think this is important is just one, conceptually that you know that, right? It's a very complex thing. I really don't see too much content around it, at least on like the internet, YouTube, whatever. I think it makes you an expert when talking about it to your clients, and also knowing how it works helps you set up these databases correctly for build-outs and client work. And I think it helps you as a builder if you kind of understand how these things work, how chatbots really infrastructurally work. I think it makes you a smarter builder in the way you do these things. Okay, so we have our build ship workflow imported. Now we need a Supabase account. All right, you could just go to supabase.com, sign up. Really easy to do. It's free, super scalable. The free goes up to like 50,000 users, which I don't think that you'll hit within a reasonable time frame. And if you do, congratulations. I'm going to set up this database password and we'll get started onto this one. I'm going to create a new account alongside you so you can see everything kind of happen. Okay, so I'm in here. I have all my API keys and everything right in front of me there. I'm going to delete these after this is done so you don't really have to worry about trying to steal my stuff. All right, and I also, just so we can follow along perfectly here, I re-imported this as a copy, and we're just going to work off this copy so that you can kind of see all this happen in real time. Now, once we've done that, there's a couple things we need to do in build ship. So we need to add our API key for Supabase. We need to add our API URL for Supabase, and then we need to add our API key for OpenAI if you haven't done so already. And you could do that if you have a key already. You can add a key here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go here and let's grab my API key here. And I'm going to put this there. And once you do that, it should autofill, and like if in your instance, it should autofill on all these Supabase integrations, but I will have to go and reselect all of mine for this one instance here. And so you'll just go along each one of these. If you have multiple keys or if this is your first time doing it, you just make sure you have your key set up, which I'm going to do here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4-ish, 5-ish in this one. And there's one in the other one. But before we go to the other one, add your OpenAI key here in the same way. So add key, do your OpenAI key, and you should be good for that node. Okay, and once we have all of our API keys in here, we need one more thing before we go to the next workflow. So let's grab this project URL. Let's copy that, and then in each one of these Supabase nodes here, we're going to add our API URL, which is that project URL here. So we'll just paste that. We'll do that for all of these. Okay. Now, let's go to our next one, which is the ask question workflow. And let's do the same thing we did there. So OpenAI key here, Supabase key here, and then API URL. And the differentiation for these workflows, just so you're fully contextually aware, is this one is where we will upload files to in the modal or via API if you set something up for this for your application or your use case. And this is the one that we will call to actually use in the custom tool or in our RAG instance. So once all of that is set up, we're on to the next step, which is we have this imported. We have all of our keys everywhere that they should be. We have our API URL everywhere it should be. All right. Now we need to do a couple things in Supabase to make this work. Now, if you go here, you should see this database tab. Let's click on that. And there's going to be an extensions here. Let's click on there. We need vector, which is going to allow for the vector database storage, which is how RAG works. Just enable that like that. And enable the extension. Perfect. Okay. And I'm keeping this document so that you can kind of follow along too. So there's some things that we need to do here, right? There's some code that we need to write. Not necessarily write for you to copy and paste. And now don't get overwhelmed by this because literally all you're going to do is copy and paste it. So here in Supabase, now that we have vector installed here, you're going to see this SQL editor. We're going to click on that. And just for context, you don't have to click on this, but we'll go to table editor. You see we have no tables. This is a brand new project. In the SQL editor, this is how we're going to create the databases. Okay, so you have 4 pieces of code to copy. Let's go ahead and copy this first one from create table all the way down here. Let's paste that in here and let's run that. Perfect. We should see this success, no rows returned. And if you go here now, you'll see a new database or a new table, right? So we have this new table. And we need another table, so let's go back here and create this table. We'll copy this from create table all the way down to there. Let's get rid of this. Let's paste this one in here and let's run that. Perfect. Now if we go here, we refresh the page, we should see two databases here. We should see chunks and files. Okay. Two more things we need to copy and paste. This is out of order, but we'll go up here to create index, or by the time this will release, it'll be in proper order. We're going to create an index on chunks. And so it's just basically saying like, this is what we're going to go look for when we do our search in BuildShip. Let's run this. Perfect. Nothing visual you need to see there. And then there's one last one down here, which is going to allow us to do a hybrid search method using vectors and text. This is how our RAG system is going to work. And you can just take this piece of code from create there all the way down to these money signs, copy that, bring it in here, paste it, run it. Perfect. Okay, so now we have an index for full search. We also have some modifications to our database, and then our two tables are created here. We're almost done. Now, what you'll do is go to this modal that I've created that you can use. It is createassistance.com/supa base-knowledge. And you have two tabs here. You have your upload and your query. This is meant to upload the data to the database, and this is meant to query the data for the database so that you can test your RAG function. Let's go to upload here first. And what we need to do is, if I just bring my BuildShip back over, let's go ahead and ship these because we made the changes, right? We changed our API keys and the API URL. I already have one in here, so I do need to change this. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's go ahead and ship these changes, just meaning we're saving our, saving the changes that we had. And then we're given a URL. We're not going to do anything just yet. Let's go ahead and ship the changes on the second one. Again, make sure all of your API keys are in there. All of your API URLs are in there. And let's ship these changes. And once that's done, it's going to give us a second URL. We'll get back there later. Now, to begin this process here, we need this, specifically this upload PDF workflow, this URL right here. Let's copy that and go to the modal and let's paste it here. Okay, I have a custom domain, but yours should be a BuildShip one. It should just be the same. It just needs to be the domain for the endpoint for that first one, which is the upload PDFs workflow. And we're going to upload some PDFs here. Now, it does need to be a PDF. The way it's set up, just for ease of use, you can't have your cake and eat it too, I guess. It's just PDFs, but you can literally take any file type, even CSV, even Excel, and save them as a PDF in both Google Docs and Word. So save those things as a PDF and you are good to go. I have one on my desktop already that we're going to use, but if we go here, we can see our database tables files and chunks are empty, right? Let's go ahead and add a PDF into here. I'm going to use this obesity FAQ PDF. All right, so this is just some stuff over health and fitness, easy enough. And then we're going to click upload. That's going to take a second. It's going to send it over to BuildShip. Again, can't have your cake and eat it too. It's going to say it's just scheduled it to BuildShip. You can go do your own error handling inside of BuildShip. This is just an easy way for you to upload it without setting up an API. You can use Postman if you want, but this is just way easier. Now, if we go here to BuildShip, and this is the one that we should have sent it to, we can open up our logs here. And then we can see we're all good to go. I have a success on mine. And then if I go here to my database and I refresh the page, I guess I don't even need to. We see the file I uploaded here. And the chunks, which is all the information that's in that PDF in here. right? You can do this with as many PDFs as you would like to. Have fun with it. It doesn't matter. All right, upload thousands of PDFs if you want to. It's your database. Easy enough, right? And now I have seen this, I posted a quick thing on this, but now we're going to test this database just to make sure the information we're getting back is correct. And even though we had this add document chunks here, this URL, we're not going to put that one here because we're not adding document chunks. We're asking a question, which is this ask question workflow. And we can get our URL here. So if I go here and I paste this URL, I don't remember what information is in this document. I really don't. But I can say something about non-invasive, invasive, because I think that's something that's in that doc. And what this is going to do is it's going to query the database and send back relevant information. Now this page is, a bit big, and yes, like I said before, it's going to send back a lot of information, but it's in order of most relevant to the answer to the question, right? And if you're using a robust service like we have on our chat infrastructure where context window on tool calls is just wide open, this is fine, but this also works for, because of the way it orders data, for something like a voice platform or whatever that you're using, it will give the most relevant information at the top. So even if it does end up being truncated, aka cut off, you'll get the most relevant information and it will be the proper answer to the question that the user has. And now, if you're using Assistable, we can go to Assistants, and I have a blank assistant here, so it literally has no prompting. This is the entire prompt, and it has one tool attached, which is the ability to API call on our behalf to this knowledge base. Now I have my original one set up, and you can copy and paste all this. This is in the document, all right? This is all in here. You can use it as you want, and we're going to test it out. And so I'll exit out of here. I have this on here. Zero prompt here. And let me get rid of my latency here. Let's go here, and I'll go to my contact right there. And so I'll even delete this contact out. And I believe this one is via text. And so I will text in and ask about something non-invasive. If I go here. So I'm going to text in from that database of those PDFs that I uploaded. It has stuff about non-invasive surgeries and things like that. It's a very complex database, which is why this is so powerful. I'm going to text in something about a non-invasive surgery type. So it's going to come in here. Now we have some delays here for a conversation initiation, but I already have my active tags with me, so it should be good. And what it's going to do is when it goes for the response, it's not just going to spit out one. It's going to call the tool to call to this database. And we can kind of see that happening live here. This was the call that it made on our behalf. That information is sent back to the AI, which you can see here. Non-invasive option, consider the swallowable gastric balloon. That was the right answer from the PDF. It was a CSV document over surgery types. Each one had a category. This was a non-invasive category. And this is the correct answer with all of the correct information right behind it. This is how RAG works. And now you can take this and go to any chatbot maker you want in the world, have fun with it. You can also take this and run with it in Assistable, either via the voice, the orb, or the chat as an additional knowledge source, or in voice and orb as a supplemental knowledge source. And you can even take this and build stuff on top of it however you want. But this is your end-to-end RAG application creation. Hopefully it makes you an expert in it. Hopefully by doing this you learn a little bit more about how chatbots actually work. And then going out to clients, you can say something to the effect that you will build them out custom database tables to knowledge, for knowledge base and RAG and bed. You use all these buzzwords, makes you seem like an expert in the execution of some of these things. So That's the reason I want to give it away for free. Usually this is knowledge that you charge a lot of money for, and this is a build out that you charge a lot of money for. But I'm going to give it to you all here so that you can use it and hopefully service your clients better and give not only the idea of an AI infrastructure agency, but AI chatbots and voice bots a better name to clients. So hope you found this helpful. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I am not going to help with error handling on your stuff because it's all copy and paste. Consult BuildChip logs if you have a problem because everything else is set up correctly. And have fun with this. Remember PDF, remember your API keys and API URL, and make sure to ship your changes and to know the difference between the two workflows. And you are all good to go. The document below will kind of guide you through the rest of it. If you need just a recap on it, we did it all together here. Watch this video in 0.5 if you need to. And if you're not using BuildChip, you can use the link below. Sign up for BuildChip. It's a really good platform, but this also works with any platform, Make, N8N. But obviously, you'd have to build out the functionality of embedding and actually chunking documents and things like that. So it's just an easy solution, and it's extremely cheap too. So have fun.